So whenever I was in the adjustment period, the thing was talking and eating. I've done this for my whole life. This should come naturally.
It felt so weird. It was really hard to get used to.
Today, we're diving into the biggest challenges of getting dental implants, from the early stages at 2 months to life with them after 2 years.
And friends, wait till you hear about the challenges of eating with these.
Before we dive in, if you're curious about what dental implants could cost you, check out the dental implant cost guide in the description below for more information. Or you can scan it right here. Troy, you've had your dental implants for about 2 months now. Ricky, you've had your dental implants for about 2 years, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And how many days did you say that was?
Almost 900 days.
Wow. That's incredible. Troy, I kind of want to start with you. You got them obviously more recently. Let's talk about the challenges you may be currently facing or were facing in the early days regarding the, sensations or the feeling of your new teeth.
Yeah, a lot of sensations. I mean, just weird. You just felt weird in my mouth right at first. I'm 2 months in, and I'm just now getting to where it doesn't feel so weird. It's starting to feel more natural to me. Probably the first month or so, I swole up quite a bit. And the soft foods and just finding out what I could eat and what I couldn't eat. It took a little getting used to, but I'm in a good spot now.
Well, what about, I've heard a lot of patients say maybe the teeth feel like big in their mouth, or their tongue is like going everywhere because there's nowhere to go.
My tongue was going crazy. Especially whenever I was sleeping at night. I had, I'd wake up and then my tongue would just be trying to push them out of my mouth, I think.
Well, I can imagine, going one day, getting all your teeth out, the next day, brand new set. I can imagine there's going to be some shocking.
Sure. But it's all worth it.
What about lisp and talking? Has that been something you're currently struggling with?
The talking wasn't too bad, actually. I thought it was going to be hard, but pretty quickly I was able to talk.
Well, that's awesome. Well, now I want to ask you, Ricky, it's been over 2 years, 900 days. Were you kind of feeling those similar sensations? Is that normal? And I also have to ask, what is it like now?
Oh, yeah, that's totally normal, what he's saying, especially with you, like I was saying earlier, like, you don't know what they are. You know what they are, but your brain doesn't, so your tongue is trying to get it out, and I don't know if you slobbered a whole lot, but, man, I
Yeah.
was slobbering and everything like a calf, and, my tongue just didn't want them to be in my mouth, so it was trying to go everywhere. So, yeah, I experienced some of those same things. I'm to the point where I don't even think about it. Like, there are things that you have to do that's a little different, but nothing that's gonna be like where it changes your lifestyle or anything, where people don't know. Like, I'm not gonna sit there at the table at a dinner, having dinner at the table and have to, they don't come out, so that's a really good thing. But, now hopefully, I look a little bit better and, I have a great smile. So
Yeah.
and I'm a lot healthier, but yeah, I'm to the point where I don't even think about it. My brain is adapted to it and everything works together. And, every once in a while I might bite my lip or something, but, other than that, I think that from your bite and how hard, because you can't feel here. So you don't know if you're biting down real hard or what. And I think I'm adjusted to that. And I kind of have an idea of how it all works because this is reading this. And now it's like second nature, like better than what I was born with.
Yeah, I think that's one of the hardest things to get used to is how hard you're biting. And because you can't feel your teeth anymore, but you can feel your gums. So it's just an adjustment period.
Ricky, you did bring up something, which is, these are permanent, right? You're not taking them in and out. And they're also, y'all went to a place where permanent teeth in those 24 hours after surgery, rather than you might get a temporary denture, like other traditional methods. So right away, you have this set in your mouth. Do you think getting your permanent teeth in 24 hours helped in regards to, these challenges we just talked about?
Oh, I think so. My brother actually had this done several years ago, and he had to go through the temporary teeth ordeal. And he was so jealous that I got mine the next day. I think it was about 6 months before he got his actual teeth. So the temporaries, from what he said, were like a
Wow.
plastic teeth. He couldn't eat anything. He had to eat soup and just really soft foods for 6 months.
Unlike some of these other methods, you might be on a liquid diet for a while, but you guys both got to start eating soft foods right away because of this 24-hour process. So, Troy, I'll ask you first. What has been challenging about maybe the soft food diet?
I had way too much pasta.
Hey, at least
But
you can eat pasta though. That's pretty good.
yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, it's better than eating soup and, just, what my brother had to survive on there for 6 months. I am starting to eat a few other things like chicken, soft chicken and things like that, but I'm like only 2 months in and I'm eating, normal foods.
And I have to ask with that as well, with your natural teeth, were you kind of eating soft food anyways, or
I
can you
was
talk
yeah, I
about
was
that?
having to because I'd lost everything in the back, so I only had my front teeth. So anything I ate, I was having to chew with my front teeth. I don't know if you ever tried that, but it don't work out very well.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Now you got a full set back there. And earlier you mentioned, the bite, finding the bite is kind of odd, or have you
Mm.
been biting your cheek or tongue? Can you kind of talk through what it's been like eating, other
Yeah, yeah, I
challenges?
have I have bit my tongue or not my tongue, but the inside of my cheek, and even when I'm not eating, sometimes I'll bite it. Really hadn't caused any pain or any bad places on the inside of my cheek or anything like that.
That's good. Well, Ricky, on the other hand, you're well past, your 4-month appointment, so you can eat beyond just the soft food. Troy, you're almost there. You're
Okay.
halfway. Exactly. But Ricky, let's talk about, what can you eat with your zirconia teeth now after that 4-month healing period? What has it been like?
I can eat anything, anything. And I actually on the Smile Makers on the Facebook page, there's videos of me eating big candied apples and corn and a raw onion because I wanted to put them to the test. I won't lie, did have a little bit of fear at first once I got past the 4 months and stuff, not from eating, but from eating certain ways. The reason that they don't want you to eat certain things is because you chomp stuff and tear it up. Well, some stuff you pull, and I was really nervous, like biting into an apple or an onion, or I did a raw sweet potato once on a video, and it was you pull with them, and I was going, "Please, dear Lord, let this work," you know.
Right.
So I try to make sure I did everything during the week, so that if something happened, that the office would be open. So, but yeah, I I don't even think about what I eat anymore, at all. It's like I can order anything on the menu. I can go to banquets. That was the one big thing was I was at a banquet and I only had some of the front teeth here and everything else was broken off basically. And I was eating a banquet steak. Probably they boil it instead of actually fry it. And I couldn't chew it up and I thought I was gonna choke. And that was whenever I realized I had to do something. Now I don't even think about it. These babies, they can tear it up. Like, it's really important, like, that you understand how your bite works, and that's why Nuvia works so hard to make sure your bite is the way it needs to be because of the pressure that you could put down on these teeth, and they don't want you to it's an investment for you and for them also because you're like a walking billboard, so, they wanna make sure everything's correct in your mouth because you know, if not, it doesn't help them and it doesn't help you out either. But yeah, I don't think about I eat everything. Everything.
So, Ricky, how long do you think it took, for you to get used to your bite and feel okay with eating things? And also on top of that, what advice would you give to Troy during this 4-month soft food diet period?
The whole process of getting used to it probably took me about 2 to 3 weeks, of actually learning how to use my mouth, and then the soft food diet, I was already eating soft foods anyway, and my gums and teeth were so bad before that I actually I ate whatever I wanted then too, because it's just you didn't know if you were gonna break a tooth or,
Right.
all that stuff, which
But
happened many times, and it's very embarrassing. But, you know, there's so many things you can eat on the soft food diet that they have this concept that you only have to drink water or soup, um, and you can eat fish, and like he said, pasta. He seems to love the pasta from what I hear, and but like fish, and if you, there's just so many different things that are made that you can eat, stuffing and things like that, that are no meatloaf. I don't know
Oh
if
yeah.
you've had meatloaf yet, but
Oh yeah. I've had the
I like
meatloaf.
the biggest thing is just you know follow follow the orders to a T. You're if you miss something or something happens, you're probably not gonna damage anything, but you just don't want to keep you don't want to take chances, you know,
Right.
uh, because in the big scheme of things, 4 months is nothing, nothing in the big scheme of things. Uh, like me, I look back and I don't even remember because I've seen some crazy stuff from like you were talking about your brother and the stuff he went through,
Hmm.
and I've seen other crazy stuff on other pages that I'm every day I'm thankful that I went to Nuvia, so.
Yeah. Awesome.
Let's talk about confidence now. So, y'all did get your permanent teeth in 24 hours. So, you got to immediately see what the teeth would look like in your mouth. Was it there an immediate boost in confidence, or is that something that's kind of slowly grown, like each
I
day at
think
a
I
time?
think there was an
Kinda walk me through that.
immediate boost because you see the drastic difference of what you had and then what you come out of Nuvia with. So there was an immediate self-confidence boost. Of course.
That's amazing. And can you kind of briefly talk about how maybe what it was like before with your old teeth and how that immediately shifted? I mean, that's crazy, you know?
Well, nobody really realized that I had bad teeth because I never smiled. Not anymore.
That's absolutely right.
Hey, brother, I've
Yeah.
been there. So,
I mean, you just had to hide it all the time.
And I can't imagine just in one day I can't imagine what was running through your head, the day I mean, I was there. I
You
was
were
with
there.
you,
Yeah.
but I can't imagine what was actually running through your head when, you got to see it for the first time. Like, do you wanna briefly talk about that as well?
Oh, it was overwhelming. Very overwhelming. But I was very excited to have after I saw what I had. I mean, it was very exciting too. Yeah.
And when do you think it finally, like, kinda settled in, like, "Oh, wow, these are my new teeth." Like,
Right.
when did that kinda settle in for you?
Uh, maybe a week or two. No, I stayed pretty swollen for maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks before when the swelling really started going down and I was really able to see what I was gonna look like. Yeah. Maybe a couple weeks.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Ricky, on your side of things, you were actually just on a Dr. Drew segment, and you talked about how your new smile had the impact it had on your confidence, right? So I'm gonna briefly share like a quick little segment of that, and then we can further talk. Yeah, you don't want
All
to?
right.
It's just, it's quick.
Nuvia's revolutionary process that delivers new permanent teeth in just one day.
Nuvia was like, here's what we're going to do for you. We're going to do it in 24 hours. And people don't even realize that they're implants. That's why they take the x-rays. That's why they take the measurements, because they want them to look as natural as possible.
Each smile Nuvia crafts marks the start of a renewed journey filled with confidence, health, and possibilities.
Your mental health, your physical health, emotional, the way you interact with people. I'm a walking testimony of how my life has changed. It's a lot easier to be confident whenever you got a good smile.
That is so amazing.
That is good.
I love that so much. So, Ricky, I have to ask, same thing for you. Did feeling confident with your new teeth, was that more of an immediate thing as well, or was that gradual?
so it was pretty immediate. You know, I was I would go places and speak and travel across the state and everything. I would speak in front of people, and it was hard because hey, let's take pictures and stuff, and I'd have to make sure, like, I didn't smile too big, or and Troy
Yeah,
probably
I
can
relate.
understand this. You're talking and you got your hand up here
Mhm.
like this, and if you smile too much, you're gonna see where you're missing teeth, or they're all grind down because you grinded them and stuff. So it plays with you mentally, which affects your confidence a ton. Um, in even in your relationship, not just with other people, but with your family. Like, you didn't want to. I didn't want to be real close with my wife and stuff because I thought, my breath smelled, or whatever. Whatever the case may be. Because why would I want to be close to somebody who had just jacked up, nasty, rotted teeth? Um, but so the second it was done, I mean, you saw that tear roll down my face, and I mean, I'll tell you, like, I fully embraced it from the second I turned that mirror around. It was like, wow, I'm me. I get to be. It was like a flower that somebody finally watered, and you just
Uh-huh.
blossomed. Like a late bloomer, basically. Thing. Uh, and you know, I'm very thankful, and for me, I love the confidence mentally and physically and emotional that it gave me, and I want to tell everybody, because if it made me feel this great, just think of what it could do for others. Because there wasn't nobody was doing a video of Troy back then, and we're all talking like 900 days ago, and now with Emily and Taylor and stuff, I mean, it's they try to get the news out there to everybody,
Mhm.
to the masses, so people don't have to feel like me and Troy did
Right.
before it happened. I can tell Troy's not used to smiling yet because I don't get to see his teeth very much. Where me, I can, like, I can see my teeth in the thing looking at the picture of me, and
Right, it's
he
still in my
still
brain.
he has that register to he'll keep your mouth a certain way and everything, and
Yep.
I've been there,
I was there so many
brother, I've
years.
been there,
Yeah,
you know?
So
So, and it's ingrained in you. It becomes second nature that this is how I have to be,
Mhm.
Mr. Frowny. And and so I can tell, like, hopefully he'll get to that point where he's just
Right.
smiling the whole time, because his smile was awesome
Yeah.
whenever he smiled
Yeah,
earlier.
it's just something in my
absolutely.
brain, and it'd probably just take a while to get to where I do smile a lot. But
Where we don't look like those guys sitting on the porch saying, "Get off my lawn, kid."
Yep, exactly. Everybody always thought that I was a
Yes.
mean person because
Yeah.
just the look on my face, I guess. And I'm far from a mean person.
I know that's a fact.
Same here, that people thought, "Oh, you're mean,
Mhm.
you're unapproachable,"
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well, before we get to this last topic here, both of you guys had an immediate, confidence boost. But what about the whole smiling standpoint of it? Ricky, how long did it take for you to, kind of feel like fully kind of comfortable and used to maybe what Troy is trying to process, how long did that take?
It probably took me the whole time, because from the time you get it done, then you have your 2-week appointment, then you go back at 4 months. Well, my mouth was totally changing the whole time. Like, as the swelling would go down and as things would happen, and you have to for me, I was like, "Okay, am I doing this right? Am I doing it?" And you're worried that you're gonna mess something up. I don't know if you're that way yet,
Right. I am.
Troy, or not, but yeah, I'm so worried I'm gonna make a mistake and mess something up, especially back then. And it was like, one day you might smile like this, but then your mouth changes, and that's what I try to get across to people that aren't to their 4-month appointment, that your mouth's going to change a whole lot in the next several months, and your smile, the way you smile, the way you eat, the way you adjust things, it all changes. So I think that after I got to my 4-month part and the adjustments were made, that I felt way more comfortable. And but even before that, I'd be places though, and people would be sitting across from me and they'd be like, "Man, you have a beautiful smile." And I didn't say, "Hey, I wasn't born with it or nothing." I just said, "Thank you." And then after a while, I realized people didn't realize that I wasn't born with it. And when that happens to you a few times, uh, you get a lot more comfortable with smiling and stuff. So,
That's amazing. Well, you did bring up something, Ricky, that our next topic is kind of about, the fear of something going wrong. So, Troy, can you kind of talk about maybe what's it been like? Maybe thinking, "Oh, am I going to mess something up, or is this normal?" Or can you kind of like just walk me through in your head, like, are you afraid that something might go wrong with your teeth?
Well, I'm concerned. I want the implants to heal correctly, and I want the bone to fuse to my implants correctly. Um, so I'm trying to do everything as far as the flossing and the water pick and the keeping my teeth clean. I mean, that water pick has become my new best friend. I mean, I'm water picking 3-4 times a day.
oh, wow.
Um, but as far as anything going wrong, as far as on Nubia's side, no, I have full confidence they did excellent work.
So I also know, there's been some people that have talked about in the Smile Maker Club group. Hey, there's like a gap that's kind of formed, kind of during the healing phase.
I'm
Has that
I'm starting I'm
has the gap
starting
formed for
to
you?
get a little gap. Yes. Um, that might be why I'm doing the water pick so much.
Ricky, I know we've had a video of you even talking about this and how you had a gap that um, Troy's talking about here. So how did Nuvia address that? Is this something normal? Should people be, fearful of this? What's going on?
So there's nothing to really fear about it. The purpose of that gap, whenever they first put them in, of course, your gums are swollen and stuff, so they're butted up against that prosthetic pretty good. And I have those pictures, and they look great. And people are like, "You don't really have implants." And that was whenever I first got it done, and everything was kind of fat inside there. And so it looks like it's all part of me. And then as the swelling went down and stuff, like you were saying, you developed that gap up here and down here. The top one's the big one though. Uh, you know, it wasn't there's a purpose for it. And that's like anything else. Like if I throw a piece of cardboard out on my lawn, after a while, everything underneath that cardboard is gonna be dead. You gotta have that air, that opening in there so that you can clean it properly and you can invigorate the gums for proper blood flow and stuff so that you have healthy gums because there's more to it than just your teeth. You have, you have to have
Right.
healthy gums. When you don't have healthy gums, that's probably why a lot of people lose their original teeth. So that gap's really important to be there. It doesn't hurt anything. Uh, I had no issue with it. Whenever you eat and stuff, you'll get some stuff in there, but it comes out right away. I'll take my water if I'm at Tex-Mex restaurant or Applebee's on a date night with the Oreo shake and stuff, and I will take a drink of water, swish it like that, and it pushes
Right.
everything out. That's between the gap and your prosthetic. Nobody
Yeah,
else
it's not.
knows,
You can't
and
see
you're
it.
good to go. Yeah. Nothing gets stuck in there. And if I'm speaking and stuff, nobody sees the gap. The only person that sees the gap, I've told people before, is me if I pull my lip up because nobody else is getting that close to me. Or the day that my time is done and the freaking undertaker is looking at me and putting my clothes on up. If he wants to get up in there and look at it,
Right.
that's his
You're
prerogative,
not
but I
gonna
won't
you're
know
not
anything.
gonna care about
I
that.
won't know anything.
Right.
I'm not gonna care. So, yeah, the gap is normal, and there's a purpose for it. It gets bigger as your swelling goes down, and then at your 4 month, they adjust it. You're still gonna have it, but it's
Sure.
there for a reason, and that's not nothing to
Mm.
worry about or be fearful of or anything. So,
And I know it also can depend person by person, right? Like some may form this bigger gap and some may not. But exactly like you said, that's something that can be addressed at that 4 month. And Ricky, have you like had any issues where you've needed to go back and maybe get something done? And is that even going in to like get your gap addressed? Is that something that you're going in and paying for on top of what's already been paid
no,
for?
None of that. I didn't have to pay for any of that. Early on, whenever I was in the first 9 days, I had a piece of the gum that didn't heal correctly, and I called and said, "I think something's wrong." I went in. My doctor said, "This is what's going on. You're my responsibility. I'm your doctor. I'm going to take care of it." That was her words. She took care of it right then and there. An hour later, I'm headed home, and things were totally different the rest of the time because she fixed what was wrong, and she
Yeah.
didn't hesitate. She said, "I'm her responsibility." And that made a big difference whenever I was looking at, okay, the customer service at Nuvia, whenever it comes to me, I'm their priority. I'll tell you, it's one of those things that it runs through the whole company, and it starts from the top, and it must be something that they instill in every single team member that they have, because everybody I've met has been like that.
Well, I do want to ask one more question. Ricky, would you want to share anything with Troy of like maybe some unexpected things that have come from your dental implants as time has gone on? Maybe some benefits that is more than the smile.
I think my health is probably one of the biggest unexpected things because I was sick all the time. And I'm not kidding you, Troy. I would get up and throw up every morning around midnight to 3 a.m. easily 4 to 6 times a week. And I didn't know what it was. They thought I might have had cancer and stuff in my
Just all the
stomach and
poison
everything.
in your teeth.
It was correct. It was all the toxins being released in my rotted freaking mouth. And
I've been there.
I will tell you, the next day after they were pulled and I came out of being all groggy and stuff, the next day, because I slept really good the first day, it was so weird. I could feel a difference
Yeah, you can
in my
feel different.
body.
You feel better.
I just felt so, and it
Yeah.
was like that because there were no
Right.
poisons being released into my system. And who would have ever thought that my teeth would cause something like
Yeah.
that?
I've had some heart issues in the past, and it's a lot better now.
Oh my goodness. That is so incredible. Like you said, Ricky, people don't really think about that. Who would have thought? Like, Troy, did you expect some of those changes in your
I was
health?
hoping for those changes because I already had some knowledge that the bad teeth put toxins in your body and make you feel bad. So I was hoping that I was going to feel a lot better after I got the bad teeth out, and I do. I do.
I always, when I was a kid, I thought, oh, I'm going to live till I'm 126. I don't know why I always thought that. And then it got to the point in probably 2017-ish timeframe, I thought, if I make it past 60,
Right.
I'll be shocked because I was so sick all the time.
I can't even imagine that. I can't even
And-
imagine. I have no words.
And when you're like that, as Troy can attest, it affects you mentally too, you know, and it affects how you interact with other people,
Yeah.
and everything. So
It affects your whole life.
there's more to it. Yeah, because there's more to it than just what you can eat
Or how your teeth
looking,
look.
you know, looking as pretty as me and Troy with our new teeth. So
I'm trying to show my teeth.
Absolutely. Well, I'm super excited. Troy, you're just at the beginning of your journey, and there's so much exciting stuff for you to come down the line. And same for you, Ricky. Like, you still, I feel like every day, as you've talked about, is something exciting and something new you've discovered. I'm just really, really happy that y'all are both where you are now.
I was just glad she didn't say you're at the beginning of your journey and Ricky, you're at the end of your.
Yeah, it's good.
So, if anyone has any other questions about dental implants and maybe the adjustment period or what they might cost, I know that's a big concern for people. What would you recommend they do, Ricky?
I'd recommend that they click the link in the bottom of this video and look at the cost guide, and it will give them a description of everything that they need to do to start their dental implant journey.